Hello everybody, welcome back. We're on to game number 2 on MLG Antiga Shipyard. We've got iSCrazyMoviN, our Zerg, blue Zerg player on the left side of the map. And who is our opponent on the right?
Katari, Kawasaki, Atari, whatever you want to call him, man. And that's what he is.
And the winner also of last game.
Indeed. And in between games, I sent EonShiKeno a link of AxeltossMoviN qualifying for Code A, so he'd believe me.
Yes, it is officially true. And
there we go.
We also learned that iSCrazyMoviN was one of the founding members of MVP.
Yes, he was on MVP before moving over to Infinity 7. And it's a little weird to me. I mean, we like the scene in general, we see a lot more Korean players interacting with the Western scene, whether it be participating in North American tournaments or straight up joining North American teams. Like, there's AxeltossMoviN, there's people like Hwang Sin, like there's people like Puma, and this is just one of those Korean players that was like, hey, Korea, I don't really like the teams over here, I'm going to join a North American team.
Yeah, that I mean, there's a lot of tournaments in the foreign scene, and this, you know, bigger teams.
Koreans want our money, man.
They want all our money, and they're coming over and taking it.
But that's okay. I mean, if they're better at the game than us, they can have it. Because North Americans need to, you know, stop slacking off.
They need to step it up.
Start getting serious. You know? But they're starting to do it. They're starting to do it with Huck leading the way.
Yeah.
But enough about that. Katari up 1-0. Pretty impressive play last game. We'll have to see what he has in store for us this game. And AxeltossMoviN doing a crazy move, starting off with a 15 hatch. I know.
And that drone is doing some crazy moving. You see that? The natural?
He's
shaking it down there.
He doesn't want any cannons to go down, or he's just having a really good time enjoying the Starcraft 2 music.
Yeah.
One of the two.
One of the two, more than likely, and Cybernex Core. So this is another map where you could easily forge fast expand, but
yeah.
Katari, not a fan of that.
All right, well, I'm gonna watch what he does this time, because my PvZ, all I'm doing right now is doing a fast expand and then just doing some sort of 6 or 7 or 8 gate timing and just killing the Zerg, but that gets boring pretty fast. So I'm gonna take a quick look at this, and I'm gonna see what he ends up doing. Last game he went with the Zealot and 2 Stalkers, but what's important here is how he distributes his chrono boost, how many units he actually chrono boosts out, what he actually uses it on, probes, units, or warp gate technology. But we'll see, man.
You might get a free Overlord kill. That Overlord's kind of hanging out there.
He's running, man. He is running for the empty void of space. EonShiKeno, I think he's going to make it away. Yeah,
that Zelt's already heading down to the bottom part of the map, and I'm assuming that Stalker's going to chase him. He isn't. I think he just used 1 chrono boost on that Stalker. Let's see if he's going to start another Stalker. Yep, he's chrono boosting out a second Stalker, so we're going to have the same type of pressure that we had last game from Katari. And iSCrazyMoviN, is he going to be able to pull some crazy moves and stop this? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure what their history is like, but this is the second game, and in game number 1, Katari did this exact same thing. So you have to think AxeltossMoviN should be a little better prepared for this type of aggression, and maybe he'll react better and come out, I guess, less behind than he did last game.
Yeah, he's got to keep that queen alive and maybe overmake Zerglings a little bit to maybe just do a counterattack and stop that expansion from popping up.
Yeah, he has a 3rd Stalker coming as well. This is a really intriguing little play. This is like, you know what this is? This is like a TVP build almost. You get the Zealots and the Stalkers and do a 1 gate expand. That's what this feels like to me, as Katari trying to snipe down some free units there in the bottom left side of the map. 12 more Zerglings on the way for AxeltossMoviN, and I think this is just like a 15 hatch abuser.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
This is really punishing, you know, really late speed. And of course you can scout it out pretty easily. I mean, just run your probe in there. If you see no gas, then you know this timing attack will work. And right now he's pulling away. Pretty smart move. I mean, some people may be thinking, why don't you just stick around and do more damage? Well, speed finishes and he gets his units surrounded, then he's kind of in trouble. So
and then it's completely not worth it once your units die. It just, everything you did was for nothing.
Yep.
So really cool move here by Katari, Kawasaki, Atari.
And that Overlord is still going to get away, but he did scout out that natural expansion. We do have a lot of Zerglings, so Actually, no, he's droning up right now, so no type of massive Zergling attack here. It looks like this expansion is going to be able to get up more sentries coming out. I think we're going to see the exact same play here from Katari. I think he's just going to mass up, like, what was that, like 8 sentries and then just go for another timing attack?
Yeah, maybe. Last game, he got a Forge, and... Forge? Yeah, no Forge this game, because his timing last game was behind +1 and 5 gateways. He does have 5 gateways, sure, but I don't see a Forge on the field. He either forgot it or he's doing a different type of build, has both of his gases in his main base. We'll have to see how fast he gets his gases at his natural expansion. Meanwhile, EonShiKeno putting down a Roach Warren and continuing with that drone production, also getting +1 ground carapace.
He's gonna have.
That's what he did last game too. This is the exact same build.
He had a macro hatch in his main?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
He did, and he had his 4th.
And a +1 ground carapace on the way. So he's actually, I think he's adapting to Katari's play from last game. He's expecting that quick +1. He's getting the +1 armor to negate that +1. So some really nice adaptation coming out of EonShiKeno in this game. And look at all those sentries. It looks like Katari is doing the same thing, except no +1 this time.
Is adaptation a word?
Adaptation? Yes, it's a word. What? I didn't just make it up.
I don't think it's a word.
He's got a probe with it. It looks like Katari's going to go for it once again, but look at all the roaches coming out.
This is exactly like last game.
Oh! Actually picked off like 5 or 6 Zerglings there. But look at all the roaches coming out. He's ready for it. I think he was preparing for this attack, and he's going to have a lot of roaches coming out. 10 roaches. He has creep spread all the way down to the bottom. He's not making any drones. He's only... Actually, he's got a lot of drones, 49.
He's fine. You know, the difference here is, like, Katari isn't going to be able to force field the ramp, so EonShiKeno can reinforce all day, and he's going to try to get a surround with the Lynx here, coming from the top with the Lynx and from the bottom with the Roaches, but that's a lot of sentries and a lot of force fields able to be used by Katari, trapping some Lynx there, trying to keep that pylon alive. Not a bad idea, because this entire push revolves around that pylon completing. Warping in some more Stalkers there. No Forge behind this. Keep that in mind, so you won't have +1.
Yeah, and the longer he delays it, the more roaches he can get out, the more Zerglings. This is like a whole nother round of Zerglings he's going to get out, and there's so many roaches. He's going to have to have some excellent force fields. Nice Guardian Shield going to go. He's going to try and maybe micro up to that hatchery. No, he's just using those force fields, picking off some roaches, and he's going to need some excellent force fields to. Maybe he just needs to get out of here. I don't know. This is going to look pretty rough as soon as this next wave of 20 Zerglings come out.
Yeah, I mean, once he runs out of force fields, this attack, like, it becomes like 90% less effective, because we all know the damage that sentries do. It's like just shining a flashlight into the eyes of your Zerg opponent. It's annoying, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. So it looks like Katari, I don't know, man. I don't think he has enough force fields to merit another push.
Yeah, I think the smart move here would be to fall back, but he's going to try and pressure this and take out the Destructible rocks. Maybe he's trying to fake falling away, bait some drones, but no. Oh, nice Zerglings everywhere. Oh man,
this is not good. Upon initial engagement.
Yeah, this is not good.
And as this goes along, it still doesn't look good. The sentry is very vulnerable in the front. So many roaches on the field. Katari trying to throw down force fields to make it a little bit better for himself, but again. I don't know, man. Continuing to warp in those units, it does not look good for Katari.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he's going to get cleaned up here, and then MoviN is going to have a really nice supply lead, and he's going to have a nice drone lead. Yeah, he's actually starting to drone now. He's up to 51. He has his drone lead, and he cleaned that up pretty easily. He is going to have such nice map control after he cleans up the rest of these Stalkers, and maybe he just may continue the pressure. He's got a lot of units streaming. That's a lot of Roaches and Zerglings, and what does he have back at his main to defend this? Just a couple sentries.
Yeah. This is not good for Katari. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He lost his entire army, about 9 sentries. Only has 4 remaining back in his natural expansion, and he's probably going to lose this Nexus.
Yeah, EonShiKeno is he's got so many reinforcements coming across the map here. He's going to take out some pylons. That's not going to be able to deactivate these warp gates. He has plenty of pylons back there. He's going to try and use some force fields to kill off some of these roaches, but here come all the Zerglings swarming in there. Sentry is going to go down, and the roaches are going to get in the back, and this is just going to be bad news bears for Katari.
Yep, and it looks like EonShiKeno is going to equalize the series. At least it seems that way, unless EonShiKeno decides to put down his controller. Not really put down his controller. This is an RTS game played on a computer. Unless he leaves his computer, and oh, there it is. There's the GG from
yes.
Katari.
But gotta say, EonShiKeno just, was like, all right, I think he's doing the exact same thing. He opened with the exact same pressure. I'm just going to get ready to have my roaches out, so that way they're out before he has a chance to force field me in my own base. And I mean, that's how I like to see players, adapt to their opponents. They see the same playstyle and they're like, all right, I need to make this small change, and I have a huge lead.
Yeah, and like small change, I mean, you nailed it on the head there. It was a small change. He just got his speed a little bit earlier, got his roach horn a little bit earlier, and made his roaches a little bit earlier as well. He scouted pretty soon, started his roach production, like way earlier than last game. Last game, game number 1 that is, his opponent was able to force field the ramp, and from there, EonShiKeno couldn't do a thing. But in this game, he was able to get a bunch of roaches out, a bunch of lings out as well, was trying to delay that push as long as possible, because the longer that push takes to get to your Zerg opponent's base, the more time the Zerg player has to respond to it, has to get enough sufficient defenses out to combat it, and perhaps counter and win the game.
And that's exactly what we saw here. So we're going to be tied at 1-1. We're going to move on into game number 3, and we'll see who can adapt the most to win the rest of this best of 3. So let's jump into that game right now.